Welcome everyone to Saturday Night Hype, and today we have got a tag team match that was going to be next week, but just couldn't quite find the space for. It is the Sons of Lavos, Majos and Colonial against the other Rangers, with Lizzie at their side. And this is going to be a great barn-burning tag team match, the first tag team match out of and fresh out of the Rebels and Redcoats tournament, and thank you each and every one of you for participating in that. And we're going to announce the winner shortly. And we are just 1 week away from No Man's Land, the major summer event, the first of our 3 Summer Series showcases that are going to have 4 matches on each card, although it's going to be 3 for No Man's Land, as these 2 individuals looking to continue their path towards tag team success. You know, Chrono and Magus, they've had their history, but they really feel like they are more solid as a unit now than they've ever been before. And, you know, I got a chance to talking to Magus before this matchup, and he really said, you know, our matters are dark matters, but it's no matter, because the matter at hand is we just got to take care of the enemies in front of us, and the faster we do that, the faster we get back to tag team glory. Here come the other Rangers, who seem to always consistently need some sort of motivational boost, as these 3 coming in together and are clearly feeling pretty confident about themselves. As Sky and Bridge, this is the first time we've seen them together, and a rather interesting position for Bridge to be in, and of course some differences between the Blue and the Green Ranger at the beginning of the year, thus resolved their differences. Lizzie had a match with the Pink Ranger Sydney, and I guess the dynamic of these guys has changed somewhat, and I'm not really sure how and why, but you know, it could be perhaps because the Blue Ranger got such advantage of Bridge, and you know, I don't know whether there's some sort of dominance factor in this. And, Bridge, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? I don't want to... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Bridge, don't do this. I know what you're doing. Don't do this. Don't do this. And, oh, God! That is a bridge that needn't be crossed. But I guess that's the way that the Rangers resolve their differences. They are a number of different colors. And, I don't want to say anything about any of these guys. Oh, and I guess Skylar got a kiss on, I presume, the cheek there from Bridge, but it is only going to be Bridge and Sky in this situation, and maybe that bond will bring them closer when it comes to this matchup, but they're going to need to put their love aside and really get to the matter of just whipping the ass of Chrono and Magus. Both of those 2 have a long tenured history in CIW, as do the Rangers. But a hell of a tag team contest here today. The Sons of Lavos, here we go. Chrono starting the matchup against Skylar. And referee John Goodman assigned to this contest. And Chrono immediately leaving the ring. And come on now. And Chrono knows instinctually that inevitably the Yellow Ranger Lizzie is going to get involved and tried to preempt that somewhat. But I don't know how smart a decision that was, as now all 3 Rangers are converging on Chrono. And there's going to be no Cyclone to be able to deter from that damage, as the other Rangers really desperately need a win. Knee to the face by Bridge and a kick to the knee by Sky simultaneously. As now Chrono back into the ring. Magus not really sure what to make of this. I mean, Chrono kind of did that to himself for this contest, but John Goodman going to keep as much in play as he possibly can under the rules of what Michael Corleone is. And now there we go. Magus with a Russian leg sweep to stop the momentum. And now Bridge not appreciating that, because Magus now gets involved. Nice running knee by Chrono. And Chrono and Magus, but you know, both these teams know that any win is a step up the ladder when it comes to CIW. You know, you get that match, you get one step further. Again, former #1 contenders in Chrono Cross, formerly also known as the Sons of Lavos, slapped to the back by Sky, as they once fought DC, who have been reigning as champions for over a year and 3 months. And again, there with a half Boston Crab, but Chrono sneaking out of it. But oh, what a cross body from the Blue Ranger onto Magus, heading that off at the pass. Very smart tactics there from Skylar, as Bridge has got the knee into the back of Chrono. And you know, who would have thought that Chrono going down to address Lizzie might have been the biggest detriment to the Sons of Lavos, but they have really not gained any momentum since. Magus trying to change those efforts. Now back into the corner of the other Rangers. Tag into Bridge. What's going on here? Drop down and went for a kick, and oh no! And Chrono ran the ropes as John Goodman got unintentionally slapped. As now, wait a second, up to the top and nowhere to be found, overshot both men, went over the heads. Bridges got Chrono in and hits both of them with a top rope senton. And Skyler coming at this with a little bit of reckless abandon, up to the top again, elbow drop, hits Chrono maybe like 20%. You saw the legs flail, which is usually an indicator. Tag back into the Blue Ranger. And the Blue Ranger, he's really trying to, be aggressive here. A different side of Skyler that we've seen. But, you rack up a couple of wins, especially in the singles game. Or, with girlfriend Sydney. And, you build up that confidence. Nice standing moonsault from Bridge, though. As Magus and the Blue Ranger back at it. Chrono and the Green Ranger. Lizzie kind of keeping eye. Drop kick. And remember Corleone's rules. As, oh, God, I just got a text from Abizzle saying don't call him that. And, yeah, oh, by the way, folks, I told you, if you haven't seen the storyline update and the programming update that I posted a couple of days ago, Michael Corleone is still in the hospital. They have to figure out what's going on with the glass in his eyes. His leg is broken again, same leg, same spot. He just got completely destroyed by Abizzle, and that means, sadly, that Abizzle is the, as the second majority shareholder, has current control. And as I told you back then, if you haven't heard it, one of the matches that's happening, that AB has inserted himself into the Exceeds title picture at No Man's Land. We are having AB versus Sephiroth for the Exceeds title. I didn't make the call, folks. This is now all on him, and I guess he decides that he's the one making those shots. And of course, oh, and a nice right hand from Magus. And now a nice drop kick from Chrono as they've started to rebuild the momentum here into their favor. But the Blue Ranger will not be deterred. And this is a very motivated other Rangers team. They've been stuck at the bottom for so long. And it's part of what led to their dissension earlier this year. But, as guys, sometimes you just need to fight those things out. And it was a nice double team there. And Chrono's still hung up in the corner. Blue Ranger desperately looking for that tag back in. But the Green Ranger maybe wants to do it himself. Oh, there we go. Tag back in and immediately gets punched by Chrono, saying what a waste of time that was. In the main event of No Man's Land, of course, next Saturday, June 8th, the Greasy Green Gigolos versus the Shades of Black in the first ever Fatal Attrition Elimination Cell Tag Match. And for the full rules of that, check out the storyline update and the programming update from just a couple of days ago. And of course, we will describe that come the actual day itself. And, oh, and an elbow drop. Oh, no! Blue Ranger got a little overzealous. Elbow dropped Chrono in the head, but landed on the Green Ranger, and now is looking for the tag. Hey, I elbow dropped you. Tag out, bro. Tag out, and he does. And the other Rangers, this is maybe not the most cohesive style, but, who knows what's going on? Not again. Blue Ranger at the top, and went for a, looks like a double standing, kind of coup de grace-like maneuver. And I think Lizzie ended up taking the brunt of that, as the Blue Ranger has certainly eaten his Wheaties this morning, as he has been going balls to the wall, and nice rating of the face and back end. The other Rangers, you got to admit, their tactics may not have been the purest and cleanest, but they were getting the job done so far. And, what's really smart about their tag strategy here is they're keeping the smaller man in the ring, cover on the Magus. He's not the legal man. But they've been keeping the smaller guy in the ring. They've not allowed Magus to tag in and out. It's allowed for them. And now Chrono taking Lizzie off. And now Blue Ranger again with a senton. And I don't think that hit anybody. I don't know how his back could handle that. And now we've just degenerated here onto the outside, as I guess the rules formerly known as Michael Corleone say that anytime you leave the ring, anyone who's ringside in your corner, they can attack, they can fight, it is fair game. They just can't get in the ring and attack. That would cause a disqualification most of the time. We've had some very weird referee discretions over the years. Nice backbreaker there by Skyler. As now Skyler back into the ring, Green Ranger in the corner. Chrono's still trying to get his bearings here. And Chrono, he's now got the fireman's carry. Will he execute? Nice rolling senton. And Chrono really needs to make a tag here. He's desperately needed to tag in Magus for the better part of 4 or 5 minutes now. And now a nice collar elbow tie-up from Skylar onto John Goodman, and another top rope move. What's he headed for here? And oh, went for a double stomp, and not to be, but instead gets a hard forearm from Magus. And that might have been one dive too many for the Blue Ranger, as now he is in enemy territory. And this might be the opening that the Sons of Lavos need to get back into this thing. Magus, oh, and speaking of, Magus, dark matter, bam! But Chrono is the legal man. And now Magus tags in, and if he goes for a cover, I'm not so sure he won't get the win right here. But Magus now picking him up, knowing that the other Rangers they've taken some punishment, but it's in a mostly Ranger-dominant match here to start out, and I wonder if maybe the Sons of Lavos were not quite prepared. Oh, hey, Lizzie, come on now. Lizzie brings a chair into the ring. I don't think there's any necessity for that. This is just a regular good old-fashioned tag match. Both of these teams are teams of honor. Springboard hits Magus barely, but he does. And the Blue Ranger now taking that chair out of the ring, did not want to use it. I do applaud that. But the Blue Ranger's not looking too good right now. And oh, and a nice crossbody, didn't quite connect. But Chrono's not looking too great. The legal men are right now Bridge and Magus. And now went for another top rope move, and Magus caught him. As these teams, and now Chrono up to the top. Went for a whisper in the wind and got it. And we have seen a lot of high-risk maneuvers here in this tag matchup. Then, of course, the third match that we've got that's going to open up No Man's Land. The newest signing of CIW, Brandon Ulrich, formerly known as the Ultimate Beast, goes one-on-one against the man who knows better than anyone how to beat men bigger than him, especially when they have multiple limbs, Johnny Cage. And we already saw Ulrich beat Ken Masters. Can he do the same against Johnny Cage? We'll find out at No Man's Land. As these two teams are giving it all they've got right now. Wait a second, Chrono going for a Chrono trigger, but he's not the legal man. And he can't get the pin here. Even though he's got him hooked up, he can't get the pin. As the now referees count up to 8, and Magus now back in the ring. And Skylar is still the legal man. That has not changed. He is not tagged out in a while. And you can see the Green Ranger looking for that tag, which I think at this point Skylar really needs. And you can't deny that Lizzie has been something of an X factor here as far as the Rangers' success. But right now, this really could go to anybody, and I think that the Blue Ranger might have been hit in the head one too many times. He is the one that got hit by both a Chrono Trigger. Oh, what a back elbow. Hit with a Chrono Trigger and a Dark Matter. So I'm sure his head has got to be a little bit fun. Oh, make that 2 Dark Matters. Make that 2 Dark Matters. But Bridge right in there. And will he be able to stop his pinfall attempt, which I'm sure is there, and he's right there to break it up before John Goodman can even get down to count the 1. As this match continues, as the other Rangers, they know how much a win in any situation can make you climb that ladder just one more rung, which will lead to, oh, and a nice bulldog from Magus, which will lead to tag team championship opportunities. And speaking of tag opportunities, in August, in the Midsummer Showdown, that is going to be our #1 Contenders show, where we are going to have a #1 Contenders match for the women's title, for the CIW Heavyweight Championship, and for the Tag Team Championship. And a bulldog, and with any luck for the Exceeds Championship, depending on how June goes, cover there by Magus 2 and 3. Oh, no! No! And it looked like the Blue Ranger somehow kicked out at 2, and no sooner had that happened did John Goodman get an elbow to the back of the head, as now the Green Ranger in there with me. Oh, hey, and the Blue Ranger picked up that chair, almost thought he was going to go for something there, but decided not to. It was the Green Ranger, who is definitely fresher, now in there with the fresher Magus. Tag into the Blue Ranger. Got to give credit to the other Rangers that are making frequent tags. And now going for, oh God, and now a big knee that got Magus look like right in the back. A big shot, and now wait a second, frog splash, and no one was there. Roll for the Blue Ranger, and not even a 1 count. Because the Blue Ranger is in fact the legal man. There's been a lot of illegal covers here in this matchup, and a nice headbutt to the gut there from the Blue Ranger, and a big back body drop. But the Blue Ranger is definitely a little bit worse for wear. You know, Chrono, he's slowly recovering in the corner. Magus getting his fair share of punishment now. Now, wait a second. What has the Blue Ranger got in mind here? A nice over-the-top suplex, take a drink, or a scoop of ice cream. And the Blue Ranger really needs to get Magus and Chrono out of that corner. The cover, roll up one, and just one on the inside cradle. And that's kind of what I was talking about. Blue Ranger really needed to get Magus back into their corner, cut the ring in half, and that just didn't quite happen on that exchange. And now Magus starting to get fired up. Can Magus start getting fired up, hit another Dark Matter, and put this match away? Double team head thrash. But Magus is not looking good either. Everybody's taking a lot of punishment in this match. Who is going to win this tag team match between the other Rangers and the Sons of Lavos? Here in this CIW Saturday Night Hype matchup, just 1 week away from No Man's Land. The first of 3 one-day 4-match cards heading through June, July, and August. That's how we're going to fill up our summer with some great, intense CIW action, all leading up to our major September show, Autumn Asylum, which we are very happy to bring to you, always happy to bring to you, as Autumn Asylum 2024 looks to be one of the biggest ones yet. And stay tuned for more updates on that as we figure out and determine a lot of the matches heading up for it. And now looking for a big back suplex and lands it from Magus, who is starting to really gain some momentum. But how much does he have left? He's already hit 2 Dark Matters, on both onto the Blue Ranger, as Bridge has really kind of let Skylar dictate, at least from what I've noticed. Skylar's definitely been the dom as far as these two teams. And I'm not talking about Mysterio, top rope, but oh, what a punch! And out goes the Blue Ranger, and you have to wonder just what the Blue Ranger is thinking, if he's thinking, because he has taken a lot of cranial carnage. And Lizzie throwing Magus back in, and was that back into the neutral corner, and here comes Bridge, and now going for another loop-de-loop, nice big splash, and a right hand, and nicely done, good teamwork there from the other Rangers. Bridge and Sky, the SPD Power Rangers Space Patrol Delta, and going for another knee to the back, and Chrono just putting an end to that. But exhaustion has to be a factor now. It has to be a factor with these individuals. These guys have wrestled for a long time here, almost 14 minutes worth. As these two teams, they know what a win in CIW means. They know what it can represent. But can they get it done here tonight? Oh, wait a second. Not a third Dark Matter, and that could end matters. If Magus gets into a pinning combination, he's in the right corner for it. But how much does Magus have left? And just the slightest hesitation from Magus was enough to keep the match going. Now, wait a second. Another top rope maneuver. Another stomp. That one right into it looked like the right knee of Magus. And now Magus with a nice running neck breaker. Boy, his abdomen is really starting to hurt him. You have to wonder if does he have a cracked rib. You know, sometimes there's spinal issues. Hopefully he hasn't slipped a disc. But Magus, he's still trying to keep his composure here, as these two teams vie for a big victory here to start out the summertime here in June. Here on June the 1st. Oh no, not a 4th Dark Matter. And that has got to do it. I'm not even sure the Blue Ranger could even think of anything at this point. The brains of scrambled eggs are in Skylar's cranium at this moment. The cover, 1, 2, 3. And Bridge just not getting there in time as the Sons of Lavos pick up a big victory here for their tag team efforts. And, you know, you got to give credit to the other Rangers. They gave it a hell of a shot and a valiant effort. But 1 Chrono Trigger and 4 Dark Matters are enough to make any brains look like the cirrhosis-filled liver of any alcoholic. And ladies and gentlemen, what we've got here is the stone cold sobriety that the Sons of Lavos are victorious on Saturday Night Hype! And we will see you next week for No Man's Land. Take care, everybody.